it is amazing to me, and it saddens me a little bit that we actually have to legislate this. But if that's what it takes to keep people safe, I mean, it's just, it's a shame that we have to legislate. If there's a problem, fix it. With that said, I think we also know that there's enough blame to go around. This isn't a one specific, you know, I have the lucky star here and I'll fix everything. But I have you in front of me today, so I want to focus my questions around the FDA. I'm concerned by the lack of inspections at the Abbott facility. I'm not saying, you know, you're the only one to blame, but between the fall of 2019 and 2021, there was just not a lot of inspections going on. The FDA's May 2021 Resiliency Roadmap claimed that the agency prioritized, and I quote, mission-critical inspections during the pandemic. And according to the FDA, the criteria for mission-critical inspections is a product is used to treat a serious disease or medical condition and there is no substitute. Is that partially correct?
That is my understanding.
So a product with no substitute. To me, that sounds like baby formula, you know, other than mother's breast milk, but some mothers can't breastfeed for whatever reason. Inspections are also mission critical when there is an evidence of serious adverse events or outbreaks of a foodborne illness. And again, that sounds to me like the Abbott plan.
At the time, in 2020, there was no evidence of outbreaks or illnesses at that time when the routine surveillance inspections were not in progress.
So can you just repeat that one more time? There was no evidence in 21?
This was in 2020. I think when you were talking about the missed inspection in 2020, there was an inspection in 2021.
In the fall of 2021,
Correct.
4 months after, I believe.
The first complaint came in September of 2021, which was when we were actually doing the inspection. So they were in the same time, at the same time.
I think from what I show, it was 4 months. It was discovered in February, but there were no inspections done. In fact, despite this, 20 of the 23 infant formula production, packing, and distribution plants in the U.S. were not inspected for nearly 2 years. So if you go back to critical, and I think we need to change what is critical. Why is infant formula not considered mission critical to the FDA?
So first of all, I don't oversee the inspectional branch of the agency. The Resiliency Roadmap did come out of the inspectional branch. I can share with you what I know, but there may be things I need to take back. Essentially, the inspections in March 2020, the routine surveillance inspections were not executed during the early phases of COVID. They were reinstituted in July of 2020.
So let me stop you right there, and I think this is part of the concern, is we had inspectors not doing inspections because of COVID.
That is correct during that brief interval at the beginning.
Were they getting paid during that period of time?
Well, let me be clear. That was routine surveillance. Mission-critical inspections were conducted throughout the pandemic.
So we did, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Can you answer my question now? Were they paid?
Yes, the inspectors continue to be paid. They were doing mission-critical inspections.
But baby formula is not mission-critical.
Baby formula manufacturers were inspected in 2020. My records indicate there were 5 infant formula inspections during 2020. Our congressional, under FSMA, the Food Safety Modernization Act, we are supposed to inspect them once every 3 years. Our practice has been to inspect them annually.
Okay, but you didn't inspect them annually. And I'm going to ask my question again. Is baby formula critical, deemed mission critical?
I would take that back to the Office of Regulatory Affairs because I do not know all of the criteria that determine mission criticality for an inspection.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I have everything because I understand that it took until January 31st of 2022 for the FDA to inspect the Abbott facility in Sturgis. Is that not correct?
No, we inspected in September of 2021, At that inspection, we noted several violations for Abbott Nutrition. We issued a 483 noting those violations. They came back to us with a 28-page report saying that they would investigate and correct those actions, committing to make those changes. When we went back in January of 2022, they had not made those corrections. In fact, rather than correcting the deficiencies we identified in September of 2021, the situation deteriorated, which is what led us to the situation leading to the recall.
Okay, with that, I'm out of time, and I want to be respectful, so the chair now recognizes, one moment, Ms. Ballant from Vermont.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm focused on the future, like my colleagues here, and preventing this from